And welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a good start to their weekend. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're staying strong and productive. Hi Khyber. Hi Dharm, hi VG, Jasur. Good to see many students joining in on this class. In this class, we're looking at IELTS Speaking Part 2, also known as the long answer for the speaking section, the speaking part of your IELTS exam. Welcome, Bakrat. Good to see our members joining in. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. That's academicenglishhelp.com. For the general IELTS, you can check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have tons and tons of materials to help you improve your English and your communication, and you have lots of opportunities to practice your speaking as well. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click this big red button to join the premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's well worth it. It doesn't cost a lot, especially when you compare it to your IELTS exam. We are an official British Council IELTS test registration center and certified agents. And when you log in to your My Student account, you will get access to computer-based practice exams, lesson videos, online courses, apps, and you can use this student partner speaking function to chat for free with other IELTS students. You can either video chat or audio chat. Right now there's Naveen, Uday, Murat. They're waiting for somebody to chat with them via video or audio. And for the general IELTS, it's the green background, and you can click this big red button to join us there. Hi, Charmin. Hi, Lei Quang. Chala, good to see you all. Deepika, nice to see you as well. Students, tomorrow at this exact time, I will be with you during the premiere of my IELTS Band 9 Journey Episode 2 test preparation. So I sat the official IELTS exam a few months back in Budapest, Hungary. We filmed it, and now we're sharing this series with you. It's a 5-part series, and last week, Sunday, we released Part 1, which was test registration. Now it's test preparation. And then the following Sunday will be episode 3, which will be exam day. So it's getting more and more exciting each time. All right. Get our apps. Academic IELTS Help. Link it to your aehelp.com account. Our app, General IELTS Help for your mobile, will link to gieltshelp.com, and you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp or GIELTS Help, and you can send us an email, adrian@aehelp.com, if you have questions. Our schedule will be up on our YouTube community posts. This is the last class for this week, and then we've got a few days break. Again, tomorrow we do have that HD release, and next week there's no class on Saturday. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Okay, everyone, let's get into our speaking for the day. So this is a speaking class, so make sure to speak and repeat. Okay, speak and repeat. Copy my intonation, my pronunciation, copy my words. If you hear new words, write them down. Collect your vocabulary. All right. So you are in the speaking interview. It takes about 12 minutes these days for the examiners to conduct the speaking interview. Part 1 will be introduction. They'll check your ID. They'll ask you about 4 or 5 questions on a general topic like studying or teachers or colors or clothing, hobbies. Okay, so they'll ask you about 4 or 5 questions on one of these kind of general topics that will be about you. And then after part 1, the examiner will say, that is the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, I will show you some questions. Please do not touch the booklet. It's for COVID reasons. You have some note paper and a pen in front of you. You will have 1 minute to think about your answers, and then you will have 2 minutes to speak. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. Okay, and it's very, very important that you use the 1 minute preparation time wisely. You have to have very good strategy, step-by-step process to get the best possible ideas and give the best possible answer. And we're going to do that right now, okay? And Kyber says, speaking part 3 is always challenging for me. That's why Kyber speaking part 2 is so important, because speaking part 2 should help you with speaking part 3. And I always tell this to students that don't forget the notes and the planning that you do in the 1 minute for speaking part 2 is often very, very useful for speaking part 3 as well, Kyber. Okay, all right. Saif is asking, is it okay to use very subtle humor during the interview? No, it's not. It is a formal setting. I don't think you should use humor, especially because humor is different for different cultures and it's different for different individuals. So awkward humor is quite poor for communication. So definitely don't use humor. Darpan, good job on that band 7 in the Ielts. You're very welcome. Darpan, send me an email so I can get your testimonial. Okay. All right. So you turn over your card for part 2, or actually in this case, I should say that the examiner says, now we will begin part 2, and they'll show you the card for part 2, and they'll say, talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Okay, so talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. So you're looking at the questions. Step 1 is to read the questions very carefully. Read the topic statement twice. Okay, it's still a very common mistake for students to miss questions on the card. Okay, so read the questions carefully. Remember to use the card so you don't miss answering any questions, right? That's your first step. Okay, so we read it twice. Read with me. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. What is it? Where is it located? What happens there? Why is it so popular? And what do you think about it? Okay, great. So step number 2 is identify the category and the components. Okay, so on Ielts, the part 2 will either be about a person, place, object, event, idea. And each of these has several components. Now, clearly here, we're talking about a place. Okay, so we're talking about an entertaining place in our city. And when we talk about a place, what should we include for our audience so that they have clarity, so that they clearly understand what we're talking about? Okay, and the tense here, of course, is going to be general. So it's a popular place that people go to. So it's general present tense, present continuous. And when we talk about a place, so when I'm talking about a landmark, about an important building, about a school. So any location. What do we discuss? So Kuiper says, well, first talk about the location, so where it is. Okay, and you'll notice that that actually answers a question right away. Where is it located? Obviously. So Rashika says appearance, history, activities, attendees, and significance. Yeah. So location, appearance, history, attendees, activity, and significance. Sure. Okay. So as long as you remember to give a few sentences on each of these components, on each of these elements, you're going to be answering the questions on the cue card and you're going to be doing a good job. Now, do it in this order. So when you're looking at the questions on the cue card, you do not have to answer the questions in the same order as the questions on the card. Okay? That's not important. What's important is that you give a clear answer. When you're talking about a location, you should discuss it in this order, as that makes sense for the listener. Okay, so this is good structure. This is that coherence and cohesion that we were touching on in the last class, in the Q&A class with the members. Okay. All right. So we know the tense is general. And then the next step, step 3, are some ideas. So think about 2 to 3 ideas, or 2 to 3 answers, I'll say, and choose the best one. Easy to talk about, lots of information, and original, if possible. Okay. Now, this is where Kuiper, this is what you want to remember in your part 3 speaking. So when you get to the part 3 of your speaking, remember the 2-3 ideas that you thought of here, because those can become really helpful to give you context and ideas for your answers in part 3. Okay. So remember these. Don't forget them. Is asking part 3 questions. Okay. So sometimes students think of a few good ideas and then they completely forget for part 3. And it's kind of like, oh, but you could have used that in part 3 and it would have made a really good answer. Is everybody clear on this? Is everybody picking this up? This is where I want to see some thumbs up and some A-OKs and some sures and some gotchas. So when you get to part 3, after you finish part 2, don't just let your part 2 ideas fly out the window. And I've seen that because I see the notes that candidates are writing and then they get stuck in part 3. And I'm like, oh, why didn't they use their notes? Those notes would have been really useful for the part 3 answers. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So Adam's giving us some ideas. So Adam says theaters. Okay. Zoo. Sure. Okay. Park, Patel says. Okay. Kuiper says museum. All right. Karina says mall. Okay, sure. So these are some okay ideas. Just make sure that you're specific, okay? So Silver City Theater. Okay. Vancouver Aquarium. We don't actually have a zoo in Victoria, but well, we have a small petting zoo, so I'm going to go with Vancouver Aquarium. Beacon Hill Park. Okay. Royal BC Museum. That's in Victoria. Okay. Mayfair Mall. All right. So when you come up with your ideas, because this question is asking about, again, talk about a place for entertainment in your city. So it has to be specific, right? It has to be specific. And it's very important that you're specific. If you just give a general answer like the mall in my city, it's kind of like, well, what are you really talking about here? Okay. So you have to be specific. And these are all great ideas. So, of course, we all have different places in our cities, and this one is in Vancouver because we don't have a zoo in Victoria, but we do have Silver City Theaters. That's big. Beacon Hill Park is a beautiful park. Royal BC Museum is a beautiful big museum here in Victoria. Mayfair Mall is a big shopping mall here in Victoria. It's a new, there's a part of it that's brand new. So those are kind of the specific ideas. Okay, so for today, for this practice session, I'm going to choose one, and maybe you guys can Google it real quick too, but you don't have to. You'll be able to kind of figure it out. It's Butchart Gardens. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm spelling that right, and I'll show you this on Google here as well. Let's yeah, Butchart Gardens. Let me see if I can. So this is in Victoria. This is in my hometown. And I'll show you a picture here of what it looks like, just so you get an idea. And then this will help you with part 2 here. Of course, Butchart Gardens has probably suffered from COVID as well because... So there's a picture of one of the parts. It's a very big garden. This is the sunken garden in Butchart Gardens, so you can kind of see a part of it there. It's a massive, massive garden in just outside the city of Victoria. It has an Italian garden, Japanese garden, this sunken garden. It has a theater for live performances and music. It has restaurants. Millions of people visit this garden every year when there is no COVID. Okay? So I'm going to choose this one for our topic today. Okay? So we're going to go with beautiful Butchart Gardens in Victoria. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and again, if you've never seen it, you don't know about it, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can just make it up. Okay. You can make up information here. Buckrust says it looks like heaven. Yeah, it sure is very magical. There's no argument, and that's just one part of it. All right. Okay, so Butchart Gardens is a place for entertainment. Great. Now, and some of you can kind of Google it to get some ideas here as well. So we've got our answer. So step 4 is notes, useful notes. Okay. Okay, don't write down Butchart Gardens because that's what you're talking about. You know that's what it is. Location is 10 kilometers outside of Victoria. Okay. What else might we say for location? So when you're talking about the location of this Butchart Gardens, then what else might you say? Okay. So... it's near Brentwood Bay. Okay, and you can come up with it. Just talk about it. Okay. VG says it's a landmark. That's right, VG. It is a landmark of Victoria, but we wouldn't actually write that into our notes because that's something that we would probably remember. Okay. All right. So for location, it's 10 kilometers outside of Victoria. It's near Brentwood Bay. What else might you say for location? You don't have to say a lot, so just one or two sentences are okay. All right. Okay. So while you think about that, think about the appearance. So how would you describe the appearance of Butchart Gardens? So I just showed it to you. Let me show it again. There you go. And this is just one of the pictures. So maybe I'll show a couple more pictures while you write down a couple of ideas. Yeah, so Jay Shambu might say it's near a hospital, it's near a school. Okay. Yeah, it's located near a very beautiful neighborhood. It's actually located very close to a sailboat harbor, so with lots of sailboats. Okay. So Natalie says trees and bushes. Yeah, so even more so, Natalie, go into quantitative detail. So thousands of kinds of flowers, right? Okay. It has thousands of types of flowers. Okay. Harpreet says greenery. VG, very good. Acres. I think it's about 50 acres, roughly. Okay. Let me see while you think about that if I can get some more pictures for you here. This is, by the way, what it looks like during nighttime when it's lit up, that sunken garden. Let me see if I can get you an image of that. And there are, of course, Christmas displays there. So that's what it looks like during nighttime. Looks like fairyland. Okay. Just that part of it. Looks like that. Let me see if I can... here's the rose garden part of it. Okay. Yep, there's some roses. Okay. Anyway, I'll let you, instead of me clicking through these pictures, I'll let you kind of check out some of the pictures of yourself. It's a very big garden, so there are very, very many different parts to it. Okay. So let's see what you're coming. Colorful lights at night. Very good, Adam. Good. So... Okay. All right. Very good, Natalie. So ponds. Yeah. Ponds and fountains. Very nice. Karina got the fountains part. Okay. Yeah, there's very special kind of Christmas, winter time display as well. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Okay, very nice. So the appearance we've got... Okay, and there are flowers from all around the world. Okay, now after appearance comes history. Okay, and you don't know much about its history, but it has an interesting history. It used to be a limestone mine. For making concrete. Okay. All right. So, quick battery change in the microphone, and we are good to go. Proud Nurse says, "Here comes new batteries." Absolutely, yeah. Here comes new batteries for the microphone. It happens every now and then. I stretch these microphone batteries to the bitter end. Okay. So good. So, who are the attendees? Who do you think visits Butchered Gardens? Okay. So obviously tourists, but again, tourists from around the world. Okay. And if I'm writing these notes in the 1 minute, I'm not going to write it like this. So I'm not going to say tourists from around the world. I'm just going to say tourists world like that. Okay. And I'm not going to write down things like children and adults because I know that. Okay. But I might write down something like schools. Okay. For learning. Okay. Patel says maybe write down something like millions of people, even more, be more specific, 2 million. Okay, so again, make sure that your notes are useful. They're not words that you will think of anyway. So don't write down words like kids and people. That's given. You're going to remember that. But you might write down something like 2 million, which will help you to be more specific in your communication. Like at least 2 million tourists from around the world visit Butchered Gardens each year. Okay. Quan La says joggers. No, joggers are not allowed into Butchered Gardens, but it doesn't matter. Reality doesn't matter. So Quan La, you might say that. You might say people use it for jogging as well. Karina, very good artists. Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of artists that visit Butchered Gardens who love painting landscapes, and it's true. When you go, you will actually see people sitting there painting different flowers and landscapes. So very good. Swarnesh says butterflies and animals. Yeah, and that's true too. You will actually see animals, rabbits, squirrels, deer, and different kinds of animals visiting the gardens as well. Okay. All right, very good. And what do you think? What are the activities? Okay, so how do people have fun at Butchered Gardens? Okay, what do they do? Okay, so, well, they walk around, take in some fresh air. Okay, and aside from that, take pictures, listen to music, eat at restaurants, enjoy scenery. Okay. So enjoy the environment, helping Foundation for the Poor. Yeah, absolutely. Karina, yeah, I'm sure some people might meditate. Okay. Picnic. Yeah, Jenny, absolutely. There's special picnic areas. So picnic. Yeah. Very good. There are lots of entertaining programs, United Kerala. Yeah. Okay, very good. So, great. And the significance. Landmark. Revenue. Nature. Okay, we'll just leave it as that. All right, so again, clearly in this 1 minute preparation time, you don't have enough time to write all of this down, but this is giving you some ideas of what you should be writing down. Now, before your 1 minute preparation time is up, your next step, step 5, is to prepare your first sentence using the topic before the examiner starts your 2 minute speaking time. Okay, this is very, very important so that you can start talking quickly and effectively. You can be direct. Okay, so to get a high band score in the Ielts speaking, in speaking part 2, you have to start talking quickly and with very clear information as soon as the examiner starts you. Okay, so Aditya, yeah, it is possible to think about most of these points in the 1 minute and even write a lot of them down as long as you have a clear picture of that entertaining place in your mind, in your city. Absolutely. Adilet Kulyabayev, yes, it is okay to look at your notes and the questions while you're speaking. And in fact, I highly recommend it. So many students get stuck. They start repeating their ideas and they're not looking at their notes. They're not looking at the questions that are there to help them. Okay. So Kyber says a recreation venue that has held the attention and interest of millions of people in my town is Butchart Gardens. It is located about 10 kilometers outside of Victoria near Brentwood Bay. Very good, Kyber. That's perfect. That's a great start. Don't say billions of people. That's a little bit awkward, but it might be. Butchart Gardens in the last 100 years, it might be billions now over the past century. Rashika says, Butchart Garden is the most famous recreational place in my city. Recreation is okay, but in this case, I would actually go with the word entertaining. Okay, so recreation is usually fun, and it's okay to paraphrase later in your speaking. However, for the very first sentence, I strongly recommend using the exact topic word in your first sentence. Is everybody clear on that? It's very important to show the examiner that you clearly understand the topic you're meant to talk about. So, arguably, the most entertaining place in my city of Victoria, especially during the summer months, is the world famous Butchart Gardens, located about 10 kilometers from the city's center. Okay. All right, Rashika, Duk Dong, Kyber say, okay, yeah, all right. So you're talking about an entertaining place. That's what you got to talk about. So here we go. Arguably the most entertaining place in my city of Victoria, especially during the summer months, is the world famous Butchart Gardens, located about 10 kilometers from the city center. Okay. It is just a stone throw away from Brentwood Bay. Okay, so here's an idiom that means it's close to. Stone or a stone's throw. Okay, so it is just a stone's throw away from beautiful Brentwood Bay. All right. Montasha, you should not speak about just any theater or any cinema. You have to speak about one specific one, because the question is asking about a popular place for entertainment in your city. So it has to be a specific location. Be very careful about this, students. These questions are usually about specific ideas, not general ideas. Okay. All right, so let's use the notes. Okay. Now we want to give the appearance. So what does it look like? Okay. So 50 acres of gardens, colorful lights, ponds, fountains, thousands of different kinds of flowers. Okay. So give me a bit of description. Okay. Swarnesh, you don't have to use idioms in your speaking. And as I said in the last class, you have to be very, very careful to use long idioms. But you should use some phrasal verbs and some natural language for sure. Okay. Kyber says, this beautiful garden has thousands of types of flowers as well as colorful lights at night. Okay. Good. So I've already used the word beautiful, so I'm going to use the word this surreal. Garden has got thousands of different types of colorful flowers and plants, as well as state-of-the-art lighting at nighttime. There are at least half a dozen restaurants. The garden itself rests on 50 acres of land. Okay. Rajan, surreal means like it's so amazing it's almost beyond reality. Okay. Surreal meaning like it's such an incredible or unique experience or situation or location that it's almost beyond reality. Okay. All right. And we use it to mean beautiful. That's right. Okay. All right. VG says it covers. Okay, VG, this is how we say it. It covers 50 acres of land with thousands of various kinds of flowers with awesome fragrances. By just sitting in this beautiful garden, smelling the stupendous aroma of flowers, makes people fall into a trance. Sure. Natalie says, so the park stays green even in the winter. Also, there are small towers and there's a large bell. Sure, Natalie. Nice creative speaking. Absolutely. Adam says, in the garden there are millions of flowers, bushes, and trees. Also, there's a big fountain with statues all around it. Yeah, there's actually lots of fountains. Bakrat says the garden spread over 50 acres of land. There's also a fountain which becomes colorful at night and attracts the tourist attention. Yeah, there's a singing fountain with music and lights for sure. Karina says the garden is full of colorful flowers and green plants, which is breathtaking, along with ponds and fountains. It houses restaurants with amazing views. Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So now we talk about the attendees. So keep going, keep writing, and in this case, speaking. So make sure to speak as well here, students. Okay. So millions of tourists come to Butchart Gardens each year to enjoy the unique flora and the world-class entertainment that it hosts throughout the year. Indeed, famous performers, singers, bands, and artists are invited to the gardens for putting on shows so that visitors truly have the time of their life. Okay? So while you're speaking, while you're going through these different components of location and appearance and attendees, make sure to keep thinking about that original topic, okay? So for part 2, continuously go back to this idea of entertainment in your city. So here it's entertainment in your city. And when I'm thinking about entertainment, words that should come to mind during my part 2 response are fun, enjoyment, time of my life. Okay, so many different ways to paraphrase the concept of entertainment. Okay, so having fun. Okay, people are smiling. All right, keep going back to that. Make sure not to go off topic. You should continuously come back to this. Okay, there's an idiom in English: all roads lead to Rome, and that means all ideas come back to one point or to one origin. And in part 2, that origin has to be the topic. Is that clear, everyone? So while you're going through the different components and you're saying where it is and what happens there, you have to keep mentioning the concept of, and it's lots of fun and it's super enjoyable for tourists. I had the time of my life there when I visited last year or before the pandemic. So Karina says, $1 million smile. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Karina. So you can say that when you see pictures of people, you can see that they always have $1 million smile. They're so happy with their experience, right? That will emphasize that it's truly an entertaining place in your city, okay? Harpreet says millions of tourists visit every year to spend lots of time along with their family as friends. Moreover, they relish the mouth-watering food and have tons of fun, right, Harpreet? So finish it with, and have tons of fun, okay? Learn English says every year millions of people visit this beautiful, entertaining place in order to make themselves happy and to see different kinds of artists, singers, as well as dancers who do live performances. Learn English, double thumbs up. That response has lots of content connected with entertaining place in your city, okay? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do, all right? So, there are tons of fun activities for visitors each day, depending on when they visit. They may enjoy watching music and dance or a live theater performance. And during Saturdays or Saturday evenings in the summer months, they can be awed by classical music accompanied by fireworks. Or if I want to be even better here and give you guys a really good idea, they can be awed by fireworks which are choreographed to classical music. And this is absolutely true. If you guys are really curious about Butchart Gardens, you might even do a search for this on YouTube for videos. On Saturdays during the summer months in the evening, they actually have quite a big firework display. It's quite impressive. And they play classical music like Beethoven or Mozart, and the fireworks will actually move for the music. So they're choreographed. Choreographed means that dance usually, or in this case fireworks, are matched for the music, okay? So you can hopefully when COVID is over, visit beautiful Victoria at some point in your lives, and you can participate in this choreographed fireworks to classical music at this garden. Can you imagine how incredible that is? Okay. All right. So I'm moving along nicely, and now if I get a little bit stuck, I can look at my notes and I can go, okay, well, I've talked about the appearance, but I haven't talked about the history. I've talked about the attendees, but I haven't talked about schools and butterflies and animals, so I might talk about that. Activities, I've talked about a lot of these. I haven't talked about taking pictures or eating at the restaurant, or I haven't talked about picnic. And also, at this point, I will look at the notes. So what happens there? Why is it so popular, and what do you think about it? Okay. So first of all, I want to make sure that I answer all of the questions on those notes. Okay. So the reason Butchart Gardens is so popular is because more types of plants can be seen in one park than almost anywhere else in the world. It is designed and maintained by some of the world's best landscapers. Of course, people have so much fun, and they share their pictures with friends, so many people desire to visit here each year. Okay, so now I'm pretty sure I've answered all of the questions, except this one. What do you think about it? Okay, I love this place. I have fun every time I visit, so I make sure to always take my friends and family from abroad when they come to Victoria to enjoy this natural landscape. Okay. All right. So there we go. And that's one way to do it. Okay. Of course, each person should have their own unique diction. Okay. And let's just go through this together. So I'm going to go back to the top. We'll read the question one more time, and then we'll give the full response just as practice to finish up this class. So here we go. The original cue card question. Let's look at it. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. What is it? Where is it located? What happens there? Why is it so popular? And what do you think about it? Okay, so you plan for a minute. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. And the examiner says, please begin speaking. So you begin by, and here we go, repeat after me. Arguably the most entertaining place in my city of Victoria, especially during the summer months, is the world-famous Butchart Gardens, located about 10 kilometers from the city center. It's just a stone's throw away from beautiful Brentwood Bay. This surreal garden has got thousands of different types of colorful flowers and plants as well as state-of-the-art lighting at nighttime. There are at least half a dozen restaurants. The garden itself rests on 50 acres of land. Millions of tourists come to Butchart Gardens each year to enjoy the unique flora and the world-class entertainment that it hosts throughout the year. Indeed, famous performers, singers, bands, and artists are invited to the gardens for putting on shows that visitors truly have the time of their lives watching. There are tons of fun activities for visitors each day. Depending on when they visit, they may enjoy watching music and dance or live theater performances. And on Saturday evenings in the summer months, they can be awed by fireworks, which are choreographed to classical music. The reason Butchart Gardens is so popular is because more types of plants can be seen in one park than almost anywhere else in the world. It is designed and maintained by some of the world's best landscapers. Of course, people have so much fun and they share their pictures with friends. So many people desire to visit here each year. I love this garden. I have fun every time I visit, so I make sure to always take my friends and family from abroad when they come to Victoria to enjoy this natural landscape. Okay, your 2-minute speaking time is up. I will now continue with part 3. I will ask you a question connected to your part 2 response and some questions on this topic. I realize there are lots of spellings and typos. That's because I'm talking and explaining all at the same time. Don't worry about that. If you caught those spelling and typo mistakes, that's fine. But follow the idea, okay? So the idea is there, okay? Mantasha, to generate ideas for your part 2 response, think about what most people would say, okay, to this question. So if you ask 10 people in your city, what are popular places for entertainment? What do you think most people from 10 people in your city would say to that question? All right, everyone, that's it for the live class for now. I will be back on Wednesday with speaking part 1 live class practice and strategy. And tomorrow at this same time as the start of this class, we will premiere my Ielts Band 9 Journey Episode 2. So I took the Ielts exam a few months ago. We filmed that, and we have a short series showing you that experience. So hopefully you'll join me, okay? All right, Kyber, I'm glad you liked that description. Again, everybody check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS for lots more videos, content. Sign up for the premium course. Doesn't cost very much, worth every cent. I would almost say pretty much all of our clients are very happy with those courses. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Bye for now.